Hi, I'm Eric Kugler with BicycleSPACE, and my guest today is Tommy Wells, Councilmember Tommy Wells from Ward 6. Actually, I'm his guest today. And we're going to talk a little bit about the accomplishments in his ward and sort of get to know the council member. Have you always used a bicycle for transportation, or how did that start? We understand that you're often seen around the city cycling.
Well, I appreciate that question because I don't cycle for recreational purposes. I've never been someone that say, gosh, it's a beautiful Sunday, I'll go for a ride. I use a bicycle really for transportation. And I like it because, especially as a ward member, I don't have to worry about parking. And it's a great way for me to see the ward as well. I see people, I see trees down, I see things that need to be fixed. Sometimes I'll ride when other people would walk somewhere. I'm a little lazy. I can get there much more quickly. I have always ridden to work. On some days I'll take the metro, some days I'll walk, but generally bicycle has been my primary mode for getting around. And it's relaxing. It's a good way to start your day. It's a good way to end your day. So there's pleasure in it. But I'm not a recreational bicyclist. In terms of the efficiency, it takes me about, on a good day, 8 minutes to get to work on my bicycle. 20 minutes if I take the bus or the train. Sure. So I get to have that extra cup of coffee, read that extra section of the paper because I'm on my bike. And I know when I'm on my bike, I'm in control of my own destiny.
Yeah, there's a certain level of certainty when you take your bike. You know one way or another you're going to get there on time.
That's exactly right. I will say I had, for the first time ever, I was leaving here the other night, got on my bike and I had a flat tire. And I thought, oh gosh, I've got things to do tonight, I'm behind, I can't believe I've got to deal with this flat tire. Then I remembered that the buses have the bike carriers on front. So I quickly looked at next bus, saw that one was coming, bus came up, put the bike on there, and I was able to get home very quickly and then dealt with the tire on the weekend.
Beautiful. And people had to fight to implement the racks on the buses also.
That's right.
It's a great thing that got accomplished. I've heard you say that you don't like to be pigeonholed into being a pro cycling or pro cyclist, but you're more multimodal. Could you explain what that means for people who may not know?
Well, in a city like Washington, more so now than ever before, I think it's exciting when I will think of all my transit options and where I want to go and what's the best one. I really like the idea that I can get from point A to point B in a multiple different ways to get there, and including walking. And I think thinking about my city, our city, that way, it's just very liberating. That for so much of my life, I thought I had to go everywhere by car, and have to be sure the car's running right, and that I, certainly have gas, and all these other things in order to manage, maintain, and move a car around the city, which can be difficult. Being more multimodal, where everything is an option, it really changes how you view the quality of life. And so I think when people say, oh, well, he's a bicycle nut, or he just likes to do the bicycle, I think that in some ways kind of diminishes the possibilities if they say, well, here's a guy that just knows how to get around town quickly, efficiently, and use all the resources there, is what I'd really rather people say, because that really is the message.
So back to cycling, what benefits do people getting around by bicycle bring to the city? Why is that in the interest of the city?
Well, I do believe that the city, because we can't charge a commuter tax, because there's just limits to how the city, the growth and the future of our city, that our city is very much benefited by more people moving to the city. And what we see is more people are moving to the city, they're making a lifestyle choice. And so you can afford more home and other things if you don't have the cost of a car. So the degree to which we can get people to see bicycling as an option, it does a number of things. It certainly, just like having more people outdoors, just creates a better community and better environment because we see each other. That's true for getting people out on their bicycles for shopping and going around. It also decreases the pressure on parking. That parking is a limited thing that we have in the city, limited by space, and it completely changes the equation if you're on a bike rather than in a car.
I'd like to throw a statistic out there. You mentioned that people are choosing not to have cars in the city. In Baltimore, the bicycle plan quoted a study that showed that if you build such that single people don't need a car or couples don't need two cars, you make available $5,000 to $6,000 per year that those people can spend in their local community. And talk about rehabilitating or rejuvenating parts of the city or townships. That's pretty powerful.
Well, I can remember in college, it was just assumed you'd have a car, especially at some point, and then into graduate school. And of course, being on a very fixed income, and the amount of money that went into my car, because you're not going to generally own a nice new fancy car when you're in graduate school. So I constantly had to put repair money in, getting new tires and gas, and I really have, I didn't have that much to show for it. But if I had been in an area where I easily could have relied on mass transportation and just had a different approach, that money would have been available for education, for going out, for things that you do in college and sometimes don't have enough money for.
Sure.
It would have really made it better for me. So I think this movement towards not so much as forcing people to not have cars, but to create a real positive alternative to our built environment is, you're exactly right. It frees up more disposable income.
Right, and then you get it's like an ecosystem. Then you get the kinds of small businesses that can open up. They hire people, they create a tax base for the city, and more eyes on the street makes it safer. We have many new residents in the city, just like yourself, and just like many of us. We come to Washington because it's happening. We want to make our mark on the world, and these days you see lots of bicycle infrastructure, the lanes and everything. It's a pleasant place to be. Can you talk about what it was like to bicycle on the streets when you arrived?
Yeah, bicyclists, and there's still some attitude about this, were viewed as somewhat of a nuisance from cars, and especially pedestrians as well. Bicycles viewed as maybe a hobby or a recreational choice, but there was not the infrastructure that was there that said, look, if you want to make this your way to commute to work, we're going to help you do that. The city was not geared for bikes. Sorry for the metaphor of gears, but we weren't geared for bikes. And now it's not, we've got a long ways to go still, but it really was a city that did not view bikes as a reasonable alternative.
And it took a lot of hard work to get the public to sort of shift that attitude to be for bicycles on the street, not as a hindrance but as a enhancement.
There certainly have been, over the years, there have been people who have worked hard to change the public infrastructure in a way to accommodate bicyclists. And I know that I'm benefiting from that, and I'm doing my part while I'm here. And hopefully, someone will come after me and say, okay, this is the next level that we're going to.
Exactly.
But I definitely we all have benefited by those that have come before us to just say this is a part of our infrastructure, and that's to accommodate bicyclists.
Who are the leaders that you see now that are sort of following in your wake, that you see doing great things? Would you like to mention a few people?
Well, I think that, I like that question a lot, because with the social media, there's, like what we're doing here, it's a great way to create a community that supports itself to being able to move agendas. And the people that have done work on this really help create, hopefully even more so, a political environment that elects leaders that really see things this way. When I come to the building here and we have free parking in front of the building, and I see the SUVs that my colleagues drive and the Hummer that's out there, I think that how we live and the choices that we make express our values. I don't want to say that my colleagues are not open to a progressive agenda for building out a more inclusive city, but they may not be as aware. Like, I ride my bicycle here each day, and it was like an extreme sport coming down from the Capitol down Pennsylvania Avenue, and I would look at it and I'd say, okay, why is this so terrible? And we have the widest sidewalks of almost anywhere in America down Pennsylvania Avenue. Think about that. Then we have anywhere from 8 to 10 lanes at any time down the middle of Pennsylvania Avenue, and there's no place for me on my bicycle. So it's only through that experience that I went to the mayor. I helped champion through with other folks' help from Congress, Blumenauer and others, but their help as well, to get these bike lanes in. But to get new leadership, sometimes you have to experience what you're championing so you understand it.
Okay.
And I think that that we do have new leadership, but I think that there's old ways of thinking about things and new emerging best practices. We need to use social media, we need to use new leadership to really move these new best practices.
So we run into people all the time who say, okay, well, what's going on? It's great. I love this. It's a great place to live. I want to become involved, but I work all day. What advice would you give to these people? How could they get involved in a way that would benefit everyone?
Well, I think that especially through social media, like I'm on Twitter, others use Facebook and other blogs, I think that you really see activities and events that are going on of how to find a community you're comfortable with, of doing things that you want to do. I think that because of the social media, there's no excuse for not tying into a group, no matter where you live. There's a lot of different ways to get involved and do things that are fun in the city, but also move a social agenda.
Well, we've already seen a lot of it. I look forward to seeing your further accomplishments.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you for investing in our community, especially investing in our future.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
General Manager of BicycleSPACE. We just heard our store owner Eric speaking with Councilmember Tommy Wells about the benefits of cycling and how simply joining a group can be a fantastic way to help improve your community. Please check out our Facebook page where we're urging people to get involved. And visit our website, BicycleSpaceWDC.com, where we have a full schedule of events including group rides and other activities. Additionally, we've created a whole social network where you can create a profile, share your cycling experiences, and meet other cyclists with similar interests. Stay tuned for more videos.